What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Smoke Podcast. This is episode 131. 131. I'm your host, Ryan.
131. Hi,
This is
Ryan.
Matthew.
Hi, I'm Matthew.
He goes by at Customs by Matthew. If you aren't aware, you should be aware. He's famous.
I'm so famous.
He's pretty famous.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
People know me.
Everybody, come see how good I look. How are you, my friend?
Oh, good. How are you?
Well, I'm just living life. I'm on vacation now, so that's good.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even remember that again. Fuck, I
Yeah.
suck at everything right now.
I'm off all week, so this is gonna be a good week. I don't have to think about work.
It is a good week.
Potentially my work won't exist by the time my vacation's over, and that would be great too.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Hoping somebody just hits that delete key and
Someone Office Spaces it and fucking burns that shit down.
yeah, or like aliens invade, and then I don't have to worry about work.
True, but then you might get an anal probe. How would you feel about that?
If I don't have to work, I'm fine with it.
Says a lot about your job.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, sure, why not? Give me some money, you can anally probe me. I don't care.
There you have it, folks.
Just has to be enough money.
Anybody has extra money kicking around?
Yeah, like there's a high chance that like if some old person was just like, here's $10 million, you're now like, my diddle slave. I'll be like, all right, $10 million, all right,
You're like, do I call you daddy or?
What would you prefer? Oh God, I hate me.
That's funny.
Yeah. We got lots of stuff to talk about this week. We got the old Loki #3, we got the Gen V #6, and we got the Blink 182 album. So we're gonna be talking about those three things. We are gonna do an episode next week because Matt's traveling plans have changed. So
they didn't change. I'm just stupid.
Well, I was trying to give you credit, but I mean, yeah, down yourself. Sure, Matt's stupid.
Okay.
He's just really, really good looking. Yeah, so we'll have an episode next Sunday.
Yes, not Saturday, because Saturday I get home, so I don't know how late it'll be.
Right. So 132 will be next Sunday, which will finish off our Halloween shenanigans for October. But yeah. What did you get up to this week? What do you want to talk about? How's the studio looking? What color underwear are you wearing? All the details.
All the details. So studio's looking pretty okay. They still have to basically put the handle and the door lock on the door. They have to install the window still. Yes, that is. Yep. And they have to do all the siding.
Yeah.
So another 2 weeks,
week or two,
maybe. Yeah. It depends. They said they're not going to be here next week, so I'm guessing it'll be the week after. I think if they have 3 days in a row, they could probably finish everything.
Yeah, just
they're very close.
Weather and all that jam.
Yeah. So they got all the main stuff done though. It's basically weatherproof at this point. If the window hole wasn't cut and the door was secured, it would be weatherproof pretty much at that point. Yeah.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
So
good.
So we can actually get in there and start doing electrical pretty quick here, I think. So I think we're going to start doing that in the next few days, me and my father-in-law. So
right. Great.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's good. This week I didn't really get up to a lot. I was saying to Ryan, I didn't really watch that much this week. I guess I had a busy week. I feel like I had a busy week. The only thing I watched was outside of our shit we're talking about tonight. All the late night channels came back last week. I didn't mention it last week, but I've been watching those again. I watched Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert pretty much every night, at least the monologues, maybe not all the interviews, but so I've been kind of trying to fit that back into my schedule. And then last night Kate and I watched I was saying to Ryan, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's on Amazon, but it's this documentary about twin flames. It's this guy who starts this kind of cult, and basically he talks about having this twin flame who's your basically your true love, your one true love that is perfect for you. And he like sells people on all this stuff. It's pretty. It kind of starts really small and then just kind of gets kind of crazy, but
As all cults do.
yeah. So it was like whatever. It was okay. Like it kept my interest for at least a few. And then we also watched.
Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping Twin Flames Universe.
That's the one.
There he is.
There he is. And then I also watched something else, but I can't remember what.
Wow, what an informative episode.
Thank you. Yes, it was very helpful. Some show called Twin Flames or something, and
another thing that I can't remember.
Yes, and then I also watched quite a bit of Always Sunny and Community this week as well. I started by watching the Halloween Community episodes, and then just kept kind of watching. And then one night I was saying to Ryan, I really wanted to hear the Frank's Little Beauties song, so I put Frank's Little Beauties on, and then I started going through episodes, like not like the whole seasons. Like I was actually picking episodes. That's the first time I've like known the episodes well enough to be like, I want to watch this one. I want to watch this one.
Yeah, the standout episodes.
Yeah, so I watched about, I don't know, maybe about 12 episodes while I was customizing this week. So
very nice.
Yeah, and then I listened to a fucking ton of Blink, like a stupid amount of Blink.
Same. I mean, we can talk about that now. It doesn't really matter. I also listened to a lot of Blink. Their new album, One More Time, came out Friday? So yesterday, kind of.
Technically, but yeah, Friday.
What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Where's your feelings on this?
I really like it. The first few listens I had on it, I see, the thing is like I never went into this thinking it was gonna be my favorite Blink album, because I don't ever see there being a point where Untitled or Self-Titled or Take Off Your Pants and Jacket or Enema are ever topped for me. Like they're past their prime, and it won't ever happen, I don't think.
No, it's impossible. I think that is like time and place, though. Like,
yes, I definitely agree with that.
It's a very like pivotal time in our lives where like we're, teenagers, early teenage years, like, you're going through a fuck ton of like life changes, mental changes, teenage angst. Like, those albums hit at the perfect time in your life where you're starting to go through heartbreak and like all that shit. Like, I don't think Blink could put out an album now that would ever relate to us on that level. Like, it's not possible.
Like, to me, I think the thing is like, I kind of put Blink into like kind of two different things. It's like there's like Blink that did Enema, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and Self-Titled, and that's the Blink that wrote as a unit. That was like Blink. They wrote songs together.
Yeah, and then they were a band.
Yeah, and then like once they did Self-Titled and they did all that kind of more experimental stuff, I think both Mark and Tom kind of wanted to do new things and try new things. And at that point, that was where they segregated, and it was like, these are Tom's songs, these are Mark's songs, and it's like it didn't feel like the same band anymore. So it's like, it's like this feels a lot like Neighborhoods to me.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of like stuff to like love on this album. And like it's funny, of the 17 songs, 17 or 16, whatever songs.
17, I think, but like 3 are like skits.
Short. Basically. Yeah. Well, not skits, they're songs, but they're just short. They're 30 seconds, right?
Well, I mean, Turn This Off is a skit.
No, it's not. Turn This Off is a song.
No, it's not. Well, it's a song, but it's a skit. It's 30 seconds. It's just
it's still catchy. It's a catchy as fuck song. Like, to me, that song is one of my favorite songs of the whole album. I think if that song was like 4 minutes longer, it is a song.
It's a sketch. It's the same thing as Grandpa ate 7 fucking hot dogs. It's a sketch.
That's a song.
No, that's
not a song.
It's 30 seconds.
No, sorry, you're wrong on this one.
I'm not.
But yeah, of the whole list, like really, the ones I skip are the ones that came out before Dance With Me.
Oh, totally same. Like
I skip One More Time. I skip
When We Were Young.
When we were no, I like When We Were Young.
Skipped. Edging, skipped.
I still listen to Edging. I like that.
You don't know what you've got, skipped.
I skipped that one. I don't like that one either.
Hurt interlude, skipped. Childhood, the last song on the album, skipped.
I didn't like Childhood at first, but once I got into it a bit more, and like there's a lot there that is enjoyable for me personally. But
to me, this would have been a perfect 10-song album. Like, I think there's just a lot of filler on it that's not very good. I don't not like it. Like, I think it's a solid, okay Blink album. Like you said, like it was never gonna hit me like it would have at 15,
yeah,
and it's just
yeah,
the way it is. But like, I love the first two tracks, like Anthem Part 3 and Dance with Me. I think are both top notch Blink songs. Like, I think they're both very
mm-hmm.
catchy. Terrified is definitely the boxcar racer like era
Yeah.
Blink that I like.
Me too. I like
Um,
it. I didn't again at first. I didn't, but once I kind of got into it a bit more, I really got. I liked it. I like it a lot more.
Fell in Love, I think, is just a song that like I like the most of it, but I hate the intro on it, like the like steel drum or whatever the fuck it is that like intros the song. I would delete that because I think it's obnoxious.
Which one for Fell in Love?
Yeah, there's like that.
Really?
Doo, doo, doo,
Oh,
doo.
see, I love that.
I fucking hate it. More Than You Know, I like. Blink Wave, I like. Bad News, I like.
But I love Bad News. I think Bad News is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
Turpentine, I like.
Me too.
Fuckface is good. Other Side's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, so for the most part, I would say like, yeah, there's probably like 10 songs on it that's like worth an
Listening
album.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I would say the ones I'm skipping are, like I said, those first three. I am still listening to Edging, but like I am skipping One More Time. I'm skipping the one that that's after that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was the same one that came out with One More Time that first week, whatever it's called.
when we were young,
More than you know.
More Than You Know.
I don't care for that one too much. And then I've been skipping the You Don't Know Till It's Gone or whatever. I've been skipping that one too.
It's just so slow, and like there's songs that just totally like break up the album for me where I'm like, these songs are way too slow, and I know like they need that, fucking Stay Together for the Kids Adam song type song in the album, but like for me, I would have way preferred this album to just come out like a blistering like pop punk 35-minute album of just like, here's 12 catchy ass fucking songs that are like fast and keep you going, and like, I don't know, I just think those two slow songs like really like slow down the album for me. But overall it's solid. I don't know, I mean, like that Zane Lowe interview like that we both watched, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just about an hour and 5 minutes,
Yeah,
hour 10
hour and
minutes,
a
something
bit.
like that. I think it was a good interview for the most part. I felt like they were pretty transparent with everything that like went on in the last
Yeah, I liked it.
decade of their friendship or whatever. But like, I also felt that he was very pumping them up and being like, oh, this is the best album you've ever written. Oh my god, like you guys are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just not. Like, it's just simply not. I think it'd be.
You know what though, man? I have to say that I don't think it's their best album ever, but I've seen a lot of people online who are saying like, oh, this is easily one of their best, and I'm like maybe top 5, but definitely not top 3. Like,
Not still, it's nowhere near top 3. I mean,
no.
I actually think I like Neighborhoods better than this album, but I'd probably put this 6th.
Yeah,
I think
I'd probably put it 5th or 6th. It's hard to say for sure. I kind of like Dude Ranch, so Dude Ranch is kind of up there.
I think Dude Ranch would be 5.
Yeah, I like this better than Neighborhoods. I like this better than 9. I don't like this better than California. California is probably number 4 for me. I know that's very weird as an old Blink fan, but like I fucking love Like I'm seeing a lot of people saying that this album has a lot of like Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and like I just don't really hear it. Like maybe the fast part I get, like the speed of the songs, but like I think California sounds way more like Enema of the State than, not all of it, but there's definitely a lot of songs like.
There's a few, but like it's very, for me, like there's a lot of slow songs on that album.
Yeah, there's a few slow songs. I mean, it's nothing like 9. 9's just all slow.
9's bad. I mean, 9's the worst
bad.
album by far. I don't even think it's questionable, but
yeah, I agree.
California's fine. Like, I don't think it's a bad album by any means, but I just, it's fine. I listen to it like, once a year, and I'm more than content with it. But I don't know, like we'll see if this album has any staying power for me, really. But like overall,
That's what happened with California for you, right? It had no staying power,
I
right?
don't staying
I
power.
remember. Yeah. See, I listened to California for like 5 months.
Yeah, like I mean, I've already gone back to metrics. Like,
Have you? Yeah.
yeah, like I've already been like, oh, I feel like listening to that rather than the new Blink album. I've listened to it like probably 3 or 4 times since yesterday, but I mean, overall, like I was saying with the interview and stuff, I like their transparency. I like that, like
Me
they've
too.
confronted the Mark and Tom stuff and hit that all head on about like the relationship and not wanting to perform together on stage and like all that stuff and like
Mm-hmm.
I
I like
hope
that too.
I hope this has actually repaired their friendship. Like I hope this is legitimately the last time they
Genuine.
break up and it's genuine and they're friends and regardless of what happens in the future. Like if Tom wants to leave again or whatever the case may be, maybe Mark wants to, like, who knows. But I'm just saying, like, if it comes to those crossroads again, I hope they just end the band and just say like, okay, you know what, like we'll pause the band or end the band, and if one day we feel like coming back to it, great. But like
Yeah.
I'd rather them just go off and do their side stuff that they want to do separately and then come back and do an album when you're ready for it. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
need to rush it. And like there was an interview I saw today, I think with Travis, that they already are planning a second album or EP at least
Yeah,
of
I think they
songs.
had a bunch of leftovers from this album, though. I
Right.
think.
That's what he said. He's like, it's songs left over from this album, so we're not sure what we're gonna do with them yet, but it's probably an EP or another album. And I'm like, see, that's got California like Deluxe written all over it, and I thought most of those songs were throwaway. So
Yeah, there's a
uh,
handful of good ones, but they're mostly bad. Yeah, I agree.
so like I don't know. I mean, maybe these are great songs. Who knows? But I
The
just
thing with California Deluxe was most of those songs were the songs they wrote before John was involved. I'm pretty sure John Philman before he was producing.
right.
And then there was three. They recorded 3 songs: "Parking Lot Misery" and "Wildfires," I think. And those were the ones that they did like after they had finished the album. They went back and wrote another 3 songs and
Parking
recorded
Lot
them.
was fine,
Which
but
yeah. See, those are the three. Those are the 3 songs that I like off that deluxe album. The rest of them are just like it's like you said. Like I can take them or leave them. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think the production on the album's like bad by any means. I definitely like listening to it on headphones all
Mhm.
the way through. I thought like Travis did a pretty good job, but
Me too. I like it.
I definitely would be interested to see them work with somebody from the outside more
I
than
agree.
to just push them a little harder and like not letting them rest on whatever they decide is good. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
somebody with outside ears come in and go like, no, we need to fix that. Like, you know what I mean? And then be open to it.
Excuse, Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is like it might kind of contradict what they're kind of saying about this kind of reunion, which is like
Yes.
we're gonna just be us and we're just gonna do what we want to do, and like so in this circumstance where they have stuff that's like, hey, this kind of sounds similar to this, or this kind of sounds similar to this,
Yeah.
like it's like they're kind of like backing up that statement, right, by
Sure.
doing that, but like to have them have somebody again like John, like if they had somebody like John who did California come in and work with them like how they are currently,
Yep.
man, I think they could make a really sick fucking record.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hope this album is like a rusty, like athlete getting back into, after he retires and they're like, you know what, I want to come back and do one more season. Like I hope this is them getting back together and like working out the rust, and then like the next album is just like fucking awesome and it like blows me
Yeah,
away.
I'd love that.
And it's like it just took an album for them to like really get going again, and I was a little bit disappointed with how dismissive they were of Matt Skiba, but like
Mm.
overall, um I'm glad Alkaline Trio is still up together and like putting out another album in January. And
I'm going to see them in March. Woo,
yeah,
woo.
exactly. That's great. I wish I was too. And um, yeah, I like I said, I think the album's fine. I don't think it's their best album. I don't think it's their worst album. I would give it like a solid 3.5 out of 5 or something like that. Like it's not great. It's good. You
Yeah,
know.
that's where I'm at. I am enjoying it though, and like honestly, with multiple repeats, and like I've listened to it. Like honestly, I probably listened to it about 20 times since it came out. So, like, as I repeat listen to it, especially like as a whole unit, like as a whole album, I
Yeah.
feel like it works really well. Because like there's times where like I don't skip the songs I said I was gonna skip because it just like they flow and I'm just occupied and I just let it go, right? But when
Yeah.
I'm turning songs on specifically, it's never those songs. It's always you know, shut this off or bad. What's it called? Bad girl. I don't know what it's called. Bad
Girl.
bad news. Or
Bad girl, yes.
anthem. Or
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
for
there's
me,
just
by far the best 2 songs on the album are the first 2 songs on the album.
I
Anthem
like
Part 3 and Dance With Me are like Dance With Me is like the best song they've written since Self-Titled, in my opinion.
I like Dance With Me a lot too, but I like Fell in Love more. But
Yeah, I hate that intro. If they got
I
rid of that
love it.
intro, I would like I can't stand it. It's so annoying.
And then you get that little Angels and Airwaves guitar.
Yeah.
It's good.
I also like went back and I listened to the Boxcar album and I listened to the first Transplants
Nice.
album and the Plus 44 album and the first Angels and Airwaves album, and like, you know what, like, out of all those, like I would say probably the Boxcar Racer albums, well, Plus 44 album's really good too, but
Yeah.
that Angels album's okay, like that first Angels album. I don't mind it, like some of the tracks on it, but like the rest of the Angels catalog is just trash.
See, for
And
me, I like a few things off of or the first one, but I Empire is the one I
there's a
really
few
like.
tracks on I Empire I like, but like overall, I think the album's pretty bad. But like I think there's like 4 or 5 tracks on it that are awesome.
Mhm.
The rest, like the next like 4 albums,
Same here.
I don't think there's a single song on it I like.
No, me neither. I got out of it.
And I really felt like during that interview, like it seemed like almost Tom wasn't very happy with them either, in a way. Like he basically like said he had no plans on ever touring again until Mark got sick. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's an interesting take for a guy that was like so fucking had a hard on for
Egotistical.
Angels. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's interesting. So
Yeah. Really.
I wouldn't be surprised if Angels is like done. Like he doesn't do another album or anything with them.
Yeah, he could always go back somewhere down the road, especially if Mark and Travis want to do something different for a little bit or take time off Blink, and then maybe
I
he's
would
like, oh, you know,
pay a lot if he did another Boxcar album.
oh man, that'd be sick. That'd be down. Especially after hearing that, it's like, oh yeah.
Like if he did another Boxcar album with Travis and fucking did a tour and like did like both albums or something like that, that's totally a show I would go to. Even though I don't think Tom's a very good live singer, like I would totally go to that show.
Yeah. I think the way another thing about this new album is I want to see those songs played. Like they're probably playing right now. I'm curious to see what their set list is for tonight because I'm wondering how many new songs are going to play.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say too is like on Anthem Part 3, Tom's voice sounds totally weird to me. And
oh yes, it's very processed.
Yeah, like I don't know if like it just has so much processing on it that's why it sounds so weird or like what it is, but like that's the one song on the album where I'm like, this doesn't even sound like Tom.
I'm just looking to see if they add anything in. So they played More Than You Know, they played Edging, they played Dance With Me, they played One More Time. And they play again tomorrow too, so we'll see what they play. I'm bummed that they took Cynical out already, but I figured that would be the first one to get cut. But
yeah. Did you also see that Motion City is doing a 20-year tour for You Are the
St.
Movie
Andrews Hall,
whatever the fuck it is.
It's like what, January 3rd or something like that, or 4th.
I know I'm like really want to go because I love St. Andrews, but I'm also like, fuck, it's bad timing. January 3rd, like, come on.
Yeah,
I think it's a Wednesday or like it's a fucking bad day to have it. I hate the bands that like fucking tour during the week because I wish all shows were like weekend shows because those are the only shows I can go to, and there's so many shows that like I'm like, oh, that'd be a great show. It's on a Thursday. Fuck, you know, it's like give me a Saturday show. Yeah. Anyway, any more to add about Blink before we move on?
No, but since you brought up Alkaline Trio, what do you think of the new single?
It's good. It's good. I've listened to it a few times. I don't think it's like their best track by any stretch or anything like that, but you know, I'm interested to hear the album. I think it's a bad album title, but
it's kind of weird. It's like what, Teeth and Face and something. I don't remember.
It's a bad album title, but
it is weird. Eyeballs and teeth, or
and
something.
Then their new drummer's what's his face, right? From
Adam Willard from Angels and Airwaves.
Yeah, which is weird.
Very weird.
Just trade members back and forth here, apparently. But
hey, whatever. I mean the thing is he'll play like for what they do, what they need. Like he'll be good. So.
Oh no, I think he's a.
But I think Derek recorded the album though. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I'm
did he?
almost certain. Yeah, I'm pretty certain.
I would have really been interested in a world where Skiba stayed with Blink and Tom came back and they became a four piece.
That would be sick.
I would have been way more interested, I think, to see them again and like to see what they would produce if that was the case.
Yep.
But this is what it is, and I mean, Travis sounds great on the album. The whole album, like Travis is killing it on drums. I think he's still one of my favorite drummers. But yeah, I don't know. Nothing else really to add to it. I'm interested in the future of Blink, and if this is the last album we ever get from them, that's fine. You know.
Yeah. I hope we get another one, but yeah, this is a good start, and it's got me. I think the thing that I'm excited for the album, but the other thing I'm excited for is just like their fan base is very like they're just having a great time with this, and it's been like pretty fun to be a part of for me, anyways. Like, so
I mean, I don't
seems like it's
see any of that shit because I don't really check any of that stuff out. But
yeah.
I'm glad that pop punk is like kind of on its like upswing again, you know, like
revival.
Yeah, like it seems like, you know, that we were young festival in Vegas and like Paramore's really killing it, and you know, Alkaline Trio's coming out with an album, fucking Taking Back Sunday's coming out with an album next week. You know, Blink's album, like it just seems like there's a lot of like really great pop punk albums coming out that are, I mean, Paramore's album wasn't really pop punk, I guess, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, just that era of music is still like going strong and these bands are coming back and that makes me happy. So
me too. I like it. So.
Let's start with Loki.
Sure.
I thought this episode was kind of boring. Not gonna lie.
I also felt like it slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, it felt very long, and I didn't find it overly compelling, to be honest.
Yeah, it was okay. I think there was some cool things in it, but I think, like I said to you, and like I've said week after week, is I'm just kind of fucking over it all. Like I just like, especially anything to do with this multiverse shit. Like I just don't care. Like I can't find it in me to give a shit.
I think you would care though if it was doing something interesting. It's not doing anything interesting. Like that's my problem with it is like, okay, this is now whatever 3 years into this multiversal stuff and they still haven't done anything interesting with it really. Like outside of the Spider-Man 3 being all together, like I don't think anything has been like, oh wow, that's sweet. Like wow, like I don't know, like if they were doing like cool shit, I think we both feel differently about it, like story wise and plot wise, and like building towards something, and like, you know, it's crescendoing into this like huge mashup of worlds, and maybe it will, but like as of right now, it's just they haven't shown us anything that makes me go like, fuck yeah, this is cool. You know.
I agree.
I'm still liking like the dynamic of the show and the characters hanging out together and whatever, but like I just didn't find this episode to really like add a lot to the story. I was just like, okay.
We finally got to see Jonathan Majors come back as Kang. Well, I guess this is what's his name again?
The one that remains, or
Victor,
whatever.
Victor Timely or whatever.
Victor Timely, yeah. His stutter drove me nuts the entire episode.
Oh, I like that. I was like, oh, that's good acting because he's keeping it together.
I thought it was so annoying. I don't know. Like I liked that it was like old timey like science kind of thing. Like he was like making this like, you know, flim flam machine trying to get people to get like fucking money and shit. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's cool. But
I like that he's just a big fraud.
Yeah, exactly.
None of his shit actually works, and
yeah, everybody's trying to kill him because he's taking money from all these rich guys. And but I'm interested to see like if this like them coming back and getting him to like, that's the problem with time travel for me, is like you can't have A without B, but you can't get to B without A, and like it becomes like this giant loop of like, you know, problems where like I'm like, well, was he always taken from the past to come into the TVA, or was he somebody else and this is a variant and they're taking this variant from a different timeline and bringing him into the TVA, and then how does that affect the other timelines, and like kind of like the Back to the Future model of like, well, if you change something it affects everything, and like, you know, you start deleting aspects of the world that you didn't expect, and like if they started going into that of like, oh, this is going to drastically affect whatever in the future by changing the shit in like 18 whatever it was, 1812 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting and like a good story element, but like again, it just seems like they're just toying with the timeline to toy with the timeline. It doesn't seem like it's really adding anything plot wise.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. It's just we're not doing anything, and it just seems to be. I mean, I guess it's saved by Tom Hiddleston and
It is.
Owen Wilson. Like they're so good together, right? Like,
And the production
again, this
values
is
are top
yeah,
notch. Like the show
yeah.
looks gorgeous.
Hmm.
Like the set design, the costumes, like the dialogue, it's all really good quality. It's just like the plot so far is just like I don't know. It just seems like we're spinning our wheels here.
I'm already halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. It's 3 more episodes, and it's like I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, comparing it to Gen V, it's just like night and day to me. It's like, well, this is a show that's just hitting it out of the ballpark, and then Loki is just like,
Well, we can talk about Gen V in a minute, but I have to say that I thought this week's Gen V was actually a little bit slow as well. Not that I had a
I
lot of
love
issues
this
with it.
week's.
I didn't. I liked it, but I definitely found it less compelling this week. Maybe just because there wasn't like anything crazy happening like there is every week, right? It's like there's no dicks blowing up in this one. There's no, it's just more like story. It's more story, right?
I mean, we can move into that unless you have more to add about Loki. I mean, I really don't have all that much to say about it because I just didn't really find it overly compelling.
Yeah. What else about Loki? What did I like about Loki? Um, I like that we got more Renslayer, and I like that we got some explanation to Miss Minutes and like how she was created and why she was created, and
AI going haywire, man. She's falling in love with her maker.
yeah, man, she's all like, "Give me that dick."
Yeah, well, exactly. And I was like, well, that's bad. You don't want your AI doing that.
You're gonna have a bad time,
Or maybe you do.
or maybe you do.
Maybe you do. Maybe it's programmed to be that
You're
way.
doing exactly what I programmed you to do.
Exactly. Well, I liked her getting like all big and like scaring the
Mhm.
townsfolk and shit. It
I
was like
like how she turned into old timey. Like she's like,
yeah,
"Oh, I better disguise myself."
black and white. Yeah. I thought that was funny and like it was like Godzilla esque of like walking through the town and shit. I think if they did more like stuff like that, I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. Like um even like if they brought her into like the present day like Earth, like would
Mm,
anybody even care after everything that's happened on Earth? Like
totally.
great,
Is
there's
that
a
a giant
clock.
clock?
Man, that
Yeah.
makes sense. We've seen
Yeah,
aliens,
last week
we've
it was
seen
a giant octopus, so
yeah, it's like all right, clock now walks. That seems normal.
seems less harmful than a giant alien, so we're good.
Exactly. It doesn't seem to be
Just
destroying
let it do
anything.
its thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
just let it do its thing.
Like I don't think she can really like interact with the world, right? Like
I don't know.
it
She
doesn't
kind of did in this, so
it doesn't seem like she really like did any harm to any of like of the stuff when she was like all big and walking through the city.
no,
Like
no.
so I don't know like how much interaction she can actually have with the real world.
Like
Like
she's not tangible, so like she can't damage anything. She's just like
right.
a
It's like a
spirit or
hologram.
something. Yeah.
Like um but yeah, no, I like her as a character and like you said, like Renslayer is good. Sylvie's still like, there. I don't know. I found her less interesting this episode just because she just seems like she's so full of hate. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
kind of miss her being like, I don't know, at least human like with Loki and like
Yeah,
appreciating
but
Loki.
that took the whole season to get to that last season though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not like she was just like that, right? There came a
No,
turning point like at towards the end,
but she's so dead set on killing him, and I'm like, they're giving you all this information reason why not to kill him, like, and she just refuses to see anything but what she wants to do. I guess we should throw up the spoilers thing here, but
I should. We'll do
um,
that.
overall, like I don't know, I just again, it's the same issue we've had with every single MCU show. Is like the middle episodes spin their wheels. The last episode feels like it doesn't have enough time and
Rushed.
rushes through everything, and it's like, and then it's over, and we're like, well, if they wouldn't have wasted those 2 middle episodes, the last episode would have been probably
Home
fine.
run.
Yeah, and it's like they still just aren't getting the layout of the episodes and like what they need to hit and like why is some episodes 30 minutes and other episodes 50 minutes? Like, just fucking make it one cohesive vision. And I think, like we talked about last week, a little bit of them adding showrunners and like stuff like that to run their different programs, like I think will help them in the long run. But
yeah, I do too. I think that'll be a big help. So
but
yeah, that was okay. And like I said, it's not like I'm finding Loki bad. I'm not. I'm just not excited for MCU.
I feel the same.
I'm just burnt out. Honestly, I honestly couldn't give a fuck if we spend another second in the multiverse. Like I don't care.
Yeah, it's time to move on.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not compelling. Like you said, they're not really using it to their best advantage. And like, you know, maybe if they want it to work, then they should show me why it like, you know, why they want to use it so bad and like actually do something fun with it, right? But
totally. Yeah, like I said, I think Deadpool 3 is going to be the game changer. If Ryan Reynolds can't do something clever and fun with the multiverse and Deadpool, then we're not getting anything fun. Like,
I mean, if any character could do it, it would be him. So what up, Southtown Pain Apps?
What up, my friends? Had some tacos and tequila shots, so I'm out. Haha, I'll check the replay on everyone and hit that like button on the only podcast Joe Rogan fears. Thanks, Southtown, man. I appreciate you, and you have a good night. Amazing. Stay safe.
Have a good night, man. Enjoy that
tequila. Fuck Joe Rogan.
Rogan, that's right. Be weary, Joe Rogan. Be weary.
Yeah, he only has like always the number one podcast, and we've got one viewer, which is
one viewer
who's leaving for tequila.
Who's leaving?
Fuck Joe Rogan.
That's so funny. That's the best comment we've ever got, I think.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, when I compare Loki to Gen V, it's just like night and day to me. Like Gen V comes out at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and that's so I can watch that episode and then go to work. And I watched it immediately as soon as it came out. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm watching this right away. Like,
I watched it first.
Yeah. And Loki, I watched sometime the next day because I was just like, whatever. When I get to it, I get to it, you know.
Yeah, I watched both the same night, but I watched Gen V first because I'm actually excited for Gen V. Week to week, I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I like this episode of Gen V. I thought it was awesome. Like,
it's very fun. Yeah, like I said, just because there's nothing too crazy happening and like, you know, I mean, I loved some stuff, I guess, but
I love the sex scene between.
Oh yeah,
what's her face and what's his face?
Cricket and Sam.
Sam, like her turning into a puppet was just fucking awesome. I love all the puppet stuff.
Yeah, the puppet stuff's fun.
I love the Soldier Boy cameo.
Soldier Boy cameo was also pretty funny. Yeah,
so funny. And like Neil even reached out to me and he was just like, "Oh, you guys gonna talk about everything that Soldier Boy talked about during this episode?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a full episode." Yeah, it's just I love how the show's written. I love how dark and adult it is, and like I don't know. I thought it was really compelling. Like them all being stuck within her head and like her childhood and like understanding why she is the way she is and like how she was kind of manipulated by people in power to do, you know, kind of what they wanted her to do. I thought it was interesting, and like they've all fucked up and they've all done shitty things, and it showed all those sides of it, and we learned more about each character. And like I don't know, I appreciated that as a plot building device, as a story device. Like I thought they did a great job with making you care more about these characters, and like
I agree.
It got picked up for a second season, so that's great.
I heard that.
Yeah, great. It's also going to directly lead into the next season of The Boys.
This season is.
Yep. So this season leads directly, I guess, into The Boys season 4. There's no release date yet for it, but I guess it builds into that of what's going to happen in The Boys, and then when The Boys season 4 ends, it's going to push directly into the next season of Gen V.
Dope. That's
so fun. They're kind of building their own little multiverse or world, universe, whatever.
Yeah, universe. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah, and I guess like the both showrunners from both like Gen V and The Boys are communicating to make sure like the stories make sense and like one's not doing something that won't work for the other. And so when they're building this virus or whatever for Soups. The
Yep.
showrunner for Gen V had to clear it with the showrunner for the boys to make sure like that's not
It
going to
worked.
fuck up anything within the boys, and like they had to make sure that it made sense and it was cohesive and they could write stories around it and like how this affects the worlds and like all that stuff. And I'm like, this is
What a
exactly
concept.
what Star Wars needed, what fucking the
Mhm.
DCU needed. Like this is exactly what works in these shows is like,
Yep.
yes, communication, collaboration, two cool story writers working together to like make sure it makes sense and works.
Yep.
And like it's awesome.
Yep, I agree. It's nice to see. So if that actually plays out that way, that'll be great. So I kind of assumed once we kind of got into that whole like virus to kill off superheroes or whatever, that was going to kind of be the lead into the boys, because like how could it not, right?
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume like season 4 of the boys is done being shot, so I assume I would guess like early January or maybe February it will come out. And like maybe if
Nice.
they can get on that rotation of like boys season in like early of the year, like February to April or whatever, and then like a Gen V season like later in the year, like September to November or whatever, like that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Just keep
Yeah,
bouncing
I'd be
back and
down with
forth
that.
like that, like that'd be great.
Yep, I agree. I'd be in for that. So, but yeah, I'm really liking Gen V quite a bit. Like it's like you said, it's compelling. The characters are interesting and flawed, and
yeah, they all have
they're
flaws.
not shying away from that right now either, right?
Yeah.
There's some I like the whole mystery bit of it all too, right? And trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on.
Well, we know what's going on kind of now. I mean, they're
Yeah,
they're trying to make a virus to kill the Soups, and
yeah.
they're
I
not
more
shy.
meant that I like that
Yeah,
there's like some like we're not just living in this land of superheroes. It's like
totally.
we're kind of exploring that world, but we're also like getting this fun little like mystery fucking thing week to week kind of thing, right? It's been fun. So
Yeah, totally. I liked that. Like all the like, despite what's her face, like the chick that's
Kate.
yes, Kate. Despite all her fuck ups and like everybody feeling like she's manipulated them and fucked with them, like then they go into like what's his face, the main black dude there.
Oh yeah, I don't remember his name right now. But yeah,
like he was cheating on his best
with her the whole time.
with her the whole time, and like was looking down on her for doing that shitty things. And meanwhile, it was his best friend's girlfriend, and like so he's kind of shitty. And then like what's her face killing her parents, and that's kind of like it was all just like everybody's done something shitty. Everybody here is human and have made mistakes, and like we're judging somebody. And I feel like that was like kind of like the message of the episode is like everybody's made mistakes, and like the sooner you can like get over that and realize that like you're not this high and mighty person. Like I feel like there's so many like meta things that the show's saying all the time about like the real world shit that like I just love that.
Yeah, me too. It's nice. It's good. It's kind of saying that like pretty much everyone's a fuck up or has
everybody's flawed
shit in their life, right? Like
and I think it's kind of like a comment on cancel culture and like all that stuff. It's like everybody's fucked up, and like
but it's too woke though, Ryan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the woke aspect, I'm like, if anything, I think it's anti woke. Like I really do. But yeah, no, I think the show's awesome. Like I'm so disappointed. There's only 2 more episodes left.
I know it's a bummer, right?
It's like this episode, like you said, probably was like the tamest of the season so far. But I feel like that's just setting us up for like the last 2 episodes to be just fucking nuts.
Yes.
And
I think they did that, right? This is how you use one of those like close to the end of the season episodes. You
in a good
fucking
way.
Yeah, you like pitch the ball, and like this episode is the pitch. It's setting everything up, and then like the next one is when shit gets real, and we get answers, and we get
the home run. It's knocking it out of the park, man, and you're running the bases. That was a baseball reference for all you non-sports fans.
True. He's the next Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, I'm not a baseball guy.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
Don't let him fool you.
I could name, I think, 3 baseball people in the history
of baseball. He's a
catcher. Yeah, that's me. I pitched too. um yeah, no, I just really love the show, and like I think like so many elements are pulled from so many different things. Like you could so see like the X-Men type like anti-mutant like thing rising up in the boys, and like, but it's just twisted to that like really dark level, and that's why I love this show so much. Is like it was designed for me and my like likes and my fucked up brain of like, yeah, this is really good, and then we're just gonna make it fucking fucked up and dark, and here you go, you know.
Like when that doctor was like, let's see how far we can take the virus or whatever, right? Remember?
Yeah,
And he's like,
let's take it up 10% or whatever the fuck he
he's like,
said.
let's make her really sick. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh my God, that's fucking
it's
dark as
sadistic.
hell, dude.
Yeah, and then they go back in and she's fucking
She's dead
and fucking sores all over her body and shit and blood, and I'm like, oh Jesus, like this is horrifying. But it's like a Nazi like fucking World War II camp, man. Like they're just doing all these crazy ass tests in this like underground facility. It's fucked up. And
so do you,
go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, do you think for the next episode or the next couple, do you think we're gonna get any big cameos?
Yeah, I think we'll get some boys cameos. I don't know who exactly, but I definitely assume that the boys will be involved.
Yeah,
in some way. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all if Butcher or something shows up in the last 2 episodes.
trying to get that fucking
virus
cure
or something. Yeah.
The thing is, they'll probably try to use that on Homelander, right? So
yeah, well, that's what I assume is what it's building towards, is like some kind of like the boys are going to end up turning like really dark and bad. I mean, they already are to a certain extent, but you can see their angle of like the soups are out of control and we need to fucking fight them. But like this is going to take it to a dark level of like, well, now they're kind of the bad people where they're spreading, you know, a disease that's going to only kill all the soups, and like some of the soups.
Yeah, because at the end, what did that doctor say at the end of the episode? Now make it contagious.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, and like the whole time I thought she was gonna end up having some kind of power or something too, and that she was just hiding it, but apparently not. Apparently she's just a human that wants to kill all the soups. So fair enough. I assume that we'd get a Butcher cameo in the next 2 episodes, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Or especially, you know, a Homelander.
Yeah, or Homelander. Yeah.
Who knows? He could be like going to the school to, you know, wipe it out because he hears about this virus or something. Like that could be the big fight scene at the end of the series. Who knows?
That would be fun.
I never did talk about what I watched this week.
We should probably do that. We just jumped right into it.
And it's totally fine. I didn't watch a whole lot, but I do want to say that
you did watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
I finished the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and my God, is 6 one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, is fucking horrifically bad. Like,
is that worse, the 6th one?
Yeah, it is awful. Like I almost couldn't get through it, where like I literally was like, can I fast forward through the rest of this movie? Like it is so fucking boring and bad. Final Nightmare is really slow. Like I know you like that movie.
Which one's
New Nightmare?
Oh, that's the new Nightmare.
New Nightmare.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I do remember liking it.
Fucking boring movie. The first hour of that movie just
it's cool.
Fucking
like the scene in the hospital where doesn't he come out of the ceiling or something like that? Or
there is some awesome awesome elements of it, like story wise. Like it's really creative. I really appreciate Wes Craven for like how like meta he makes his like Scream is obviously the step forward after New Nightmare, and like like to write a story that's about a story that he was, you know, like it's all on top of each other and all mixed together, and it's really smart in that way. But like it is so slow for the first hour, and like Freddy doesn't really even show up until like the last 45 minutes of the movie, and it's just like Jesus Christ, can we get on to this? Like it's just a lot of like dialogue and like, oh, don't fall asleep. It's like nothing's happening. I'm like, this is so boring.
I need to watch it again.
1, 3, and 4 are the best 3 by far. Like
1, 3, and 4.
1, 3, and 4. 2 is awful too. Like 2 is obviously bad.
Yeah, I remember you saying 2 is bad.
So like I would if you're gonna watch any of them, I would say watch 1, 3, and 4, and then if you really want to watch New Nightmare, go for it. But like 5's fine. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just like it's fine. But
It's just there.
yeah, but like 2 and 6 just don't even bother. They're fucking horrific. And then I watched Freddy vs. Jason as well, and like there's elements of that movie I really like. Like I like the dynamic. I know it's like silly and dumb and like, but there's some awesome kills in that movie. There's some really cool scenes in that movie. It's awesome to see Jason and Freddy, in the same movie. Like, despite of how corny the actual storyline is and like whatever, but it just made me really think like how has it been, this long since we've gotten a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Like, I mean, they did the remakes, but like other than the remakes, it's basically been like 20 years since we've really gotten, either franchise back, and it just seems crazy to me.
Well, the thing is if there's no demand for it, like I know there is always going to be like that horror demand, right? But
Yeah,
it's like, especially in
widespread.
this day and age where it's like, if it doesn't make $1 million fucking dollars or $1 billion, then it's like, oh, we're not going to make another one. Like,
Yeah, but the thing with horror, right, is like I was talking to my friend Dan earlier, and he is watching The Descent. I don't know if I think you've seen that movie.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I love that. That movie's really good, but
it's terrifying.
yeah, it is scary.
Monster things or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen The Descent out there, like, highly recommend that.
It gave me like hardcore claustrophobia. Just
totally, very claustrophobic movie.
Yeah.
But like that's a movie that's probably was pretty low budget. Like, there's nothing really in that movie where you're like, oh, they spent a fortune on that. Like Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project, like these are movies that were shot super, super cheap. There's no huge effects in them really, like, and it's just like very, one camera, like really easy to shoot movies. And I'm like, there's a way to bring back Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm not saying it's like a found footage thing, but like there's a way to bring these movies back where you don't make them for $100 million. You make them for, $15 million. Like you get some no name starting up actors. You don't need some fucking, oh, we got Robert Downey Jr. to be fucking Freddy. It's like, there's no reason for that huge name.
Like, hey,
right?
don't fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I just think like get some newcomers into these movies, or like, whatever. And there's a way to make these movies and have them make money and be successful, and not make $200 billion and be like, oh, it only made $500 million. We're disappointed. Like, it's like, no, a movie cost $10 million and it made 60. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my taste for the genre has just kind of disappeared, so it's different, right? But
I think if it was a good, well done movie, it would compel people back to horror. Like, I think the reason people are bored of horror is there's so much trash out there. There's so much shit horror. And, not that I'm saying like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street are fucking knocking it out of the park. Like, if anything, I've been highly critical of both franchises. Like, there's 3 or 4 good movies in each, but like the overwhelming majority of those movies are not good.
Pretty bad, yeah.
I'm going to get into Halloween next, and I'm right on par with my 31 for 31, so we'll see if I can knock it out for the last 10 days of the month. But even Halloween, I know there's some bad Halloween movies in there too, so I'm not expecting a ton. But I don't know. I think in this day and age, like, you don't need to knock out a movie every single year. You don't need, if like Saw did for a long time, like Paranormal Activity did, where they was like, oh, we need a sequel every year for the next 10 years. And then everybody fucking hates the franchise. And everybody's like, okay, I don't want to see Paranormal Activity 7. Like, fuck off.
Yep.
And you burn it out. And it's like, if you pace these things out where you're getting a solid, great horror film, and then maybe a sequel in 3 years or 4 years, you let it rest, you make people want it again and desire it again, and then it comes out with another solid movie that's well written and directed well and like interesting, cool concept, whatever. Like, I'm not saying it has to be highbrow, but like you can do more than just a slasher movie that chicks are flashing titties and guys are smoking pot. Like, it just doesn't work in 2023. Like,
that's the problem.
But overall, I'm loving my horror movie binge.
Nice.
And I'm loving October.
You will.
So I don't know. I still want to see Saw X because I hear it's very good, but when I get to it, I'll get to it. You know,
So,
I'm not going to the theaters, so
yeah, I
I'm not going. I have to get tickets for Miss Captain Marvel or whatever the Marvels.
is it
Those
even for
tickets
sale
out yet?
I don't know.
I would assume so. We're less than a month away, so
We're like 2 weeks away.
are we really that close?
I think it's like November 5th, isn't it?
fuck.
Let me see if I can buy tickets right now.
I don't know. I
Is it
don't
in-
remember. It's like
I don't
right
know.
after Loki finishes, I think. 3 weeks? I don't know. You'll have to look. I'm not sure. I don't. Maybe it's November 12th. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
advance tickets.
I have no hype for that movie at all.
Neither, November 10th.
November 10th. All right, I was somewhere in between.
Tickets.
So what's today? It's 22nd. That means what? I don't know. So the last Loki episode's after it. Time's hard.
Yes.
Let me look at the calendar and see.
Time.
So
why
how
is-
many more Lokis do we have? 3, right?
3? Yeah.
So 1, 2.
3, yep, okay.
It'll be after it.
Weird. Well, we will be covering all this stuff in the coming weeks, so you can look forward to that.
I will see that. Yes.
I will see the Marvels first week for sure.
Yeah, as long as I can get somebody to come with
Or
me.
to it, I still will.
We'll either cover it that Saturday or the following Saturday, one or the other, depending. But yeah, we'll cover the end of Loki. We'll cover the end of Gen V and Captain or the Marvels or whatever the fuck, and then who knows what the fuck we'll do for the rest of the year. We got our Spotify list coming up. We got our
Yeah.
top of 2023 albums or top of 2023 whatever list to do.
Trying to make the new
Blink album show up on my top Spotify. I only have a month to do it, but I'm gonna try.
It's not gonna make my top.
might make mine. We'll see.
No, too many better albums this year. But
I get D-Box?
Yeah, I get D-Box.
yeah, you always get D-Box. I don't know why.
I'm buying tickets right
now.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Next week, we'll have our thoughts on Loki and Gen V, and I will be streaming Spider-Man 2 on PS5 throughout the week. So if you're interested to see that, I will probably start streaming that, I would guess Monday, because tomorrow I want to watch football. So I'm going to guess Monday to Friday. I'll probably hammer out that game.
Look at you.
I think it's only 30 hours long, so I'll probably split that up, 5 hours a day or something like that. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, come by the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@moosmilkmedia. You can follow Matt at Customs by Matthew on Instagram, as well as his YouTube channel, same thing, /@Customs by Matthew. And grab the podcast on podcast services if you so choose. Subscribe, like, follow, all that stuff. Helps the numbers, helps find people helps people find the podcast, and we appreciate it. We're trying to grow it. We're trying to get it bigger.
Insides.
What's that?
Another triple round.
Insides.
Your mic's starting to die out, but that's okay because the episode's over.
At least it lasted till the end.
Exactly. So thanks everybody for checking us out, and we will see you next Sunday at 1 a.m. Cheers.
So.
Ah.